Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Today's our topic is useful Dhamma reflections. In Pali language, reflections is paccavekkhana. You notice that the Buddha used a lot of such reflections for Dhamma practice. For himself, throughout his Bodhisattva journey, and guiding disciples towards Dhamma practice. And how does this work? How does it work for our mind in terms of purification and higher Dhamma cultivation? Let's look at it and study the science of it and study a few of these reflection and see how it may help our life along the journey of purification. Before I go further into analyzing the workings of paccavekkhana, I want to quote one example so that it's easier for you to have a picture, have an impression about it. When our Bodhisattva, means our Gautama Buddha, when he before he became a Bodhisattva, in the earliest life, 24 Buddhas ago era, in the era of Dipankara Buddha, our Gautama Buddha at that time, he was named as Sumedha, a very rich person, very, very rich. And when his parents passed away, the treasurer in the house came to him and told him, well, or maybe call you little boss or whatever, and say, these are the treasure passed on to you from your father's side, all the ancestors, the father's side. And these are the treasure passed on to you from your mother's side, inherited by your mothers. And now all belongs to you. It's up to you to use it and enjoy it and as you wish, as much as you like. Then at that time, he could have enjoyed life, squandered all the wealth, whatever he likes, but he didn't. He was a wise man. He was reflecting. All my past relatives, all my beloved ones, they have accumulated all this wealth, but without being able to carry with them. And they die, leaving all this behind. So it is not suitable for me to act the same like them, to hold on to this wealth. So what he did, then he reflect. He said, I want to think of a way I can carry this wealth to my future lives. Then how? Then because of that reflection, thinking that no use, I cannot use it all. So he thought, I want to carry it to my future life. So he dana, gave away. For 7 days, still not finished. He opened the door and walked out and said, you all come and help yourself. Then he went on, renounced, and become Hermes Subeda. And eventually he met Dipankara Buddha and received prophecy to be a fully qualified, prophesied Bodhisattva and destined to be a future Buddha named as Gautama Buddha. So that was a very powerful reflection that not many people cannot do that. But because of that reflection, he was able to overcome the attachment to wealth for that held on to most people almost very rarely people can do that, but he managed to overcome. And because of that, and because of that renunciation, that life, he achieved five, all the eight samapatti, eight attainments, and abhinya, five abhinya, five psychic powers, and received prophecy from the Buddha. So that was a great achievement. Great achievement. Because of the power of Paccavekkhana. Were he not to have that kind of Paccavekkhana, he wouldn't be able to let go so easily with comfort. Without hesitation. Easily he did that because of that Paccavekkhana. So this is the first earlier, one of the early Paccavekkhana employed by our Bodhisattva. And subsequently, throughout his Bodhisattva journey, he used a lot of Paccavekkhana to spur himself on to perfect, to fulfill all the 10 paramis. You can see, look into it later a bit, a few of them. Sometimes some of you, even with some wealth, even with unfinished loan, the house with unfinished loan, you cannot let go. You say, I have to pay my loan, my installments for another 20 years. So cannot go forward, go forth. House. You rather be enslaved to your property for another 20 years. So you see. In fact, if the Bodhisattva were to be in your position, he may just give up the house. Okay, after all, the house is still have so much installment, sell it and get whatever you can, and then go forward, renounce. That's better. Give away is better. So see how the power of Paccavekkhana, how it works for the Bodhisattva. Accomplish a great task, superhuman achievement, you can say. So now, how does it work? This Paccavekkhana. Do the robbers have Paccavekkhana? Yes, the robbers also may have reflection, thinking that, well, if I rob, I will get rich, whatever. You see or not? Not every reflection may be good. You have to reflect wisely, with wise attention, with wisdom. First, for the Paccavekkhana to deliver good results, it must be rooted in truth, in realities, in natural laws. Otherwise, it wouldn't work well. First, it must be truthful, correct. And for our Bodhisattva, when he did that reflection, it was correct. When he gave, that merits accumulated, the Dana Parami of giving, we follow him wherever he goes. That is how he carries well to the future. You see or not? So if it is a fanciful reflection, it wouldn't bear fruits. But because it was a truly rooted in truth, and really is true, correct one, supported by natural laws. So such a reflection, it works. Otherwise, you may do, but it wouldn't deliver good results. Okay? So this is a first factor that we need to have. Secondly, you need to have a confidence and faith in the reflection. You need to have the wisdom to appreciate it. Otherwise, if it is imparted to you, okay, if you don't understand cause or effect, and now I tell you how the Bodhisattva reflect, please reflect and work in the same way, you will find it difficult. If you don't have the wisdom to appreciate the truth, then that Paccavekkhana wouldn't work for you. If you do not have enough faith in that reflection, the science of that reflection, the cause and effect, the law of cause and effect in work behind the reflections, underlying the reflection, then it wouldn't work so well. Okay? So you need to have understanding, you need to have faith that it must be really truth-based, supported by truth or natural laws. Then only it can work. And then you need to reflect frequently to generate the force. Some of the reflection, one time you can achieve, you can execute and benefit, receive the benefit of their reflection, like ours. Sumedha did. Even before he received prophecy to be a bodhisattva. But sometimes certain reflection need to be done frequently again and again in order to generate the Dhamma power. Okay. Now let's look at some of the reflection regarding the paramis employed by the bodhisattva. Later we also go to a certain reflection directly affecting our spiritual life. Other time. Let's look at a few, like the dana. The bodhisattva will reflect this way. Danang mayakatang anasangkami va. Okay? Danang mayakatang anasangkang va. Have I practiced giving without attachment? Another one is loba pahanaya idang danang hotu. May this giving lead to the eradication of greed. Then regarding sila, silang me parisuddhang kayena wacaya manasa. Is my morality pure in body, speech, and mind? Then another one, sila parani. Silang me nibedaya upakapatu. May my morality be a foundation for penetration of the truth. And then regarding nekama, nekama para renunciation. Kama sangkapang wa, nekama sangkapang wa, ajame balawatarang. Is the thought of sensual desire or the thought of renunciation stronger in me today? Again, repeat. Is the thought of sensual desire or the thought of renunciation stronger in me today? Which is stronger? Sensual desire stronger or thought of renunciation stronger? So reflect. The next one is nekamang me santiya upakapatu. May my renunciation lead to peace and seclusion. Then regarding wisdom. Anicang dukang anatati maya yoniso pacavekitang. Have I wisely reflected on impermanence, suffering, and non-self? Panyame nibbana maggang pabasetu. May my wisdom illuminate the path to nibbana. Okay, this is regarding panya. Then virya, effort or diligence. Kusalesu dhammesu viryang me appamanang. Is my effort in wholesome states immeasurable? The next one. Viryang me samma patting papetu. May my effort lead to right practice. Then the next one, about patience, kanti. Ako sang parosa wachang maya kantang ako pena wa. Have I endured insult and harsh speech without anger? Kanti me sabba dosang abhibhavatu. May my practice conquer all hatred and ill will. Then sacha. Sachang me vacha, sachang me mano, sachang me kamang. Is my speech true? Is my mind true? Is my action true? Sachang me adithanam dalhang karotu. May my truthfulness strengthen my determination. Then adithana, determination. Bodhisankapang me ajja achalang wa. Is my resolve for awakening unmoving today? Adithanang me sabba antarayang vinasetu. May my determination destroy all obstacles. Then metta. Sabba satesu me metta apamanava. Is my loving kindness towards all beings boundless? Metta me sabba satanang sukhang aratu. May my loving kindness bring happiness to all beings. Upekka, equanimity. Labha alabhayesu yassa ayasyesu maya upekka bhavita. Have I cultivated equanimity amidst gain and loss, fame and disrepute? Upekka me chittang samma tulitang karotu. May my equanimity make my mind perfectly balanced. Can this reflection work for you? First, you have to be convinced of the benefits, the power of these 10 parami, Dhamma powers. If you are convinced, then this reflection works. But certain, later we will teach further reflection that can help you to, if you are not convinced, this may not be working. If you are convinced that this is good Dhamma, this is a beneficial Dhamma, supportive for your liberation, supportive to your liberation, then this reflection works very well, perfectly well, simple and straight to the point. But if you are not convinced, then sometimes we need to work on different type of Paccavekkhana, which I will share with you later. We look at other types of Paccavekkhana, a few other different examples. Okay. In the Pali, we have 10 reflection. We also have 5 reflection, like in the Dhamma Sutta, which we recite every day. You also find different reflection, which we can look at it quick if you have time, extra time. But there are, in the Anguttara Nikaya, Upajjhathana Sutta, there are 5 daily reflection for everybody. For the Dhamma, that one is for mainly for spiritual people, monk, renunciate, monastics. But there are 5 daily reflection helpful for renunciates or monastics, and also helpful for lay people, which everyone should cultivate. In the Anguttara Nikaya 5.57. First is Jara Dhammohi Jarang Anatito. I am subject to aging. I have not gone beyond aging. Vyadi Dhammohi Vyadi Anatito. I am subject to illness. I have not gone beyond illness. Marana Dhammohi Marana Anatito. I am subject to death. I have not gone beyond death. Sabbehi me piyehi manapehi nanabhavina bhavoti. All that is mine, beloved and pleasing, will become otherwise, will become separated from me. Kama sakumhi, kama dayado, kama yoni, kama bandhu, kama pati sarno. I am the owner of my action, heir to my actions, born of my actions, related through my actions, and have my actions as my refuge. The last one, can you understand? Others are quite clear. We are owner of our action. No one, if you do whatever you do, thought, speech, and action, that karma, you follow you. You are the owner. You cannot. And you are heir to your action. You are inherit your action life after life. Then, born of my action, because it is true. One of the factors that bring us to be reborn is our karma. Yeah. Avijja, Tanha, Upawadana, Sankhara, Karma. Karma is one of the forces, one of the 5 major forces that produce rebirth. Related to my actions, whatever that happened to you, you are welcome. In the text, the Buddha say, if you have done good, you are like, when your good karma ripen, it's like, you go back to your home after wandering a long time outside. then your relatives welcome you. In the same way, when you have done a lot of good, your relatives, marriage is your karma, good karma. It's like your relatives take care of you. And have my action as my refuge is true. If you have your good karma, then your karma will protect you. So let's look at this, Paccavekkhana, how it works. It works based on reality, based on truth. Because it works, it is truth. Because it is truth, it's the reality. So it is very powerful. You see? Why we say it's a reality? Aging is a reality, right? We all get to be aging. Then our illness, yes. We can get ill, get sick, and then we will die. This is inevitable in our life. So these are the truth, realities. So, and then also, all that is mine, beloved and pleasing, will become otherwise, will change and will be separated from me. It's true because of impermanence, because of the viparinama dukkha, the changing, suffering, the nature of that. So because of that, it's a reality. The Buddha is using this reflection to bring our mind to reality, to truth again and again. And similarly, I'm the owner of my action, heir to my actions, born of my actions, related through my actions, and have my actions as my refuge. These are all truth, real. So it works in such a way that the Paccavekkhana helps to bring our mind back to this reality, this truth, again and again. Because even if you know the truth, if it doesn't come into your mind, it doesn't function as Dhamma power. So this Paccavekkhana enable our mind to invoke the power of Dhamma again and again, frequently, to benefit our life. So this Paccavekkhana works. But it works because the reflection is truthful, is real. Okay? Otherwise, if you reflect the wrong thing, then finish. You reflect the Adhamma, then Adhamma works in your mind again and again. But if you reflect on Dhamma, then Dhamma works in your mind again and again. Then another type of Paccavekkhana, which we do every morning. Remember? For reflection on the monks and nuns, on our clothing, our food, our lodging, and our medicine. Okay? So what is the purpose? Let's look at one or two. You are quite familiar. Patisankha yoniso chivarang padisevami. Wisely reflecting, I use the rope. Yava deva sitasa patigataya unghasa patigataya. Only to ward off cold, to ward off heat. Dangsa makasa watatava sirensava sampasana patigataya. To ward off the touch of gadflies, mosquitoes, wind, sun, and creeping things. Yava deva hirikopina patichadanatang. Only for the purpose of covering the parts that can cause shame. So what is the purpose? When we reflect, the Buddha wants us to reflect on our four allowable requisites. Like this chivara, or for the lay people, you can think of it as your ordinary clothing. The Buddha encourages to reflect like that so that we can keep in mind the clear comprehension of purpose and also somewhat the clear comprehension of suitability. Because when we remind ourselves of the purpose, the real purpose of wearing clothing or the robe, then we will not deviate into craving. We just use it because we need it, not because we want to show off, not because of greed, but because of practicality only, pure necessity. So because of that, we can avoid unwholesome states arising in mind of greed. When we are fully aware of our purpose, then we will know what is suitable and what is not suitable. It's not suitable to beautify it, to make it fashionable. No, it's not suitable. Because the purpose is this. So if you work against the purpose, it's not suitable. So it helps us to not to deviate from the purpose of using our requisites and to avoid cultivating defilements, taints in the process, in the course of using the allowable requisites. Okay. Then similarly, for the food, dwelling place, and for the medicines, you can. I'm sure every day we recite. You can try to understand in the same way. We won't go through point by point. Is there any other reflection which can help us a lot in our life? One, I will share with you is the reflection on cause and effect, the law of cause and effect. A bit similar to just of the karma, cause and effect, nature. And in the more profound way is dependent origination. Cause and effect is a simplistic expression of reality. In real life, nature works in dependent originated manners, not in simple cause effect, because between cause and effect, there are a lot of conditions working for the cause to ripen. Without sufficient condition, it wouldn't. Sometimes, for example, you plant a seed. Will the seed necessarily grow into big tree and deliver fruits to you? Not always, not always. Because it's subject to the soil suitability, the temperature, the weather, or climate of the place, and whether you fertilize sufficient nutrients for the plants, like that. So similarly, in real life, a lot of causes, but in karma actually it works much more effectively. If you talk about the vegetation, with the seeds, a lot of the seeds may not deliver result, may not produce fruits. But in karma, only very limited karma will fade away without ripening if it doesn't get sufficient time to ripen. Most of the karma will follow us throughout our samsara until it produces results. The karma works more efficiently, more powerfully than the fruits, the seeds that we see outside. Even though we use the seeds as example, but karma works more efficiently. Sometimes without fail, follow a long way until it delivers results to you, good or bad. Okay. So, but anyway, reflection on the law of cause and effect or the dependent origination are very powerful, very helpful. So, these karma, the efficiency of karma is very powerful. Most of them will not fade away until it ripens or until you enter parinibbana, where there's no arising and passing away. There's no fire aggregates for the karma to ripen. There's no platform for karma to ripen. Karma requires fire aggregates to ripen, to take effect. And how does it work? Help us in our purification. Oh, so much. You see how often we beings cultivate unwholesomeness because of not being aware of cause and effect. Then be so blatant, so bold, so adamant to commit unwholesome deeds. Why? Not that don't they love themselves? Everyone loves himself or herself. And why? Still proceed, still go ahead to commit unwholesome deeds. Because of not being aware of the cause and effect. So if you reflect on cause and effect frequently, you tend to be vigilant not to commit unwholesome deeds. You see? That's one thing. Then secondly, because of a constant awareness about cause and effect, whatever happened to you, you can rightly see that experience as a result of karma or result of some conditions, past condition or condition, which need to ripen. So you are more willing to accept and endure unpleasant experiences or cherish a good experience, or cherish a good opportunity and make good use of it. So cause and effect thinking is very helpful. It enables us to have yoniso manasikara, wise attention, respond towards life experiences, whether it is through our eye, ear, nose, tongue, or body and mind. See? So cause and effect reflection is very, very helpful. Of course, if you want to try to understand the world, then don't be so oversimplistic. Try to see the world in dependent originated form. But if you just in terms of practical workings, you just say, well, I may not know how it ripened, when it ripened, but I know it will ripen. Unwholesome causes will produce unwholesome result. Because of that, I just have a simple mind. Please don't tell yourself, I won't commit unwholesome deeds. How it ripen, I don't bother because it's too sophisticated. Real life operation of the natural forces, karma forces, are very sophisticated. This is the domain of the Samma Sambuddha. To have complete understanding, perfect understanding of every single phenomena. So for the disciples, we can understand to a certain extent. To be perfect, not possible. There is the domain of Samma Sambuddha. So, but you can understand what are the unwholesome causes that can produce unwholesome result, and wholesome causes can produce wholesome result. You can, through the Abhidhamma practice, you can understand. Okay, that is helpful enough. So even though we have not reached up to Samma Sambuddha level, but having the cause and effect understanding and reflection, we can rightly know how to guide our behavior, our thought, speech, and action in our daily life. So you see, when you have that cause and effect understanding, when you understand this is my result of my good karma, and you also will be aware that if I squander it, if I don't make good use of it, I may just finish or exhaust my good karma. Instead, I should and make good use of whatever good things that come to me to generate greater wholesome karma, greater good for future, greater merits for future. So this cause and effect reflection, Paccavekkhana, can benefit our life in every aspect. So helpful. Okay. That's one thing. Then another type of reflection is reflection on non-self. Again, you may say, well, non-self is so profound. How am I going to reflect? I have not experienced it. Yeah, it's true. Non-self is very profound, very, very difficult to understand. Most people have difficulty with this. So that's why meditation is very important. Basically, it belongs to the aspect, what I call the domain of bhavana, maya, panya, experiential insight knowledge. But anyway, you can also, through reflection, to a certain extent, you can help yourself with this non-self reflection. So using the Cintamaya Panya, of course, for those who have experienced it, it's much easier. But if you have not, using Cintamaya Panya, reflective thinking wisdom, you can invoke certain Dhamma power of this non-self Dhamma power. For example, in the Anatalakkhana Sutta, the discourse on non-self characteristics, the Buddha said the first level in that sutta, the Buddha expound non-self in three stages. The second and third stage, you may need some meditation, vipassana, direct experience up to the ultimate reality level. But the first stage is much easier to understand. First stage, the Buddha said, if the materiality is not if it's myself, it is the self, then it will not cause affliction or pain. Then I should be able to command, please be like this, not be like that. But because this is non-self, I'm not able to command it. Do not be, because it's non-self, it is subjected to affliction or pain or defects. And then you cannot command, say, please, this materiality, my body, be like this, not be like that. Be healthy, not be unhealthy. You cannot do that because it's non-self. So there's a first stage, first level of understanding non-self, which everyone can do. You may not reach up to the vipassana level, but everyone can reflect like that. Yes, my feeling, likewise, my feeling, so often when you fall into emotions, your feelings, you find that you cannot command. Yes, I know. So often you tell me, Bante, I know, but I cannot do it. Right or not? Because it's non-self. So at that time, the non-self feature, the characteristic, appears to you. It manifests so clearly to you. Instead of getting upset, you should direct your attention to this Dhamma nature. Then wisdom arises. Then detachment arises. Similarly, perception also same, mental formations also same, and consciousness also same. You cannot say, please don't create trouble for me, create trouble for you. Please be like this, not be like that. It wouldn't listen to you. This is the first level of non-self, which using thinking wisdom, which we can be able to understand and appreciate. Okay? So another category of Paccavekkhana reflection is regarding the Brahma Vihara, the Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekkha, loving kindness, compassion, appreciative joy, and equanimity. If you develop such a reflection, then it can enhance your emotional intelligence, EQ. And especially in terms of impartiality. Because when we cultivate these Brahma Vihara qualities, to perfect it, we need to cultivate the kind of impartial loving kindness, impartial compassion, impartial appreciative joy, and impartial equanimity to avoid the bias, prejudice, or the kind of preference for someone and disfavor somebody else. Why? Because the impartiality arises out of non-self. We enhance our non-self quality, and partiality enhance our self, a sense of self. So if you have the strong sense of self, we are actually enhancing a quality that makes us easily hurt, easily affected by externalities. So we need to cultivate this. But because of time constraint, I won't go too much into details, but to bring your attention to this and how useful it is to cultivate reflection, to which can help us to develop this Brahma Vihara. And thirdly, is this seeing things as they really are with wisdom. Yatha Bhutang Jnana Dasana. This is a very important attitude or Dhamma, we should say, for Buddhists, for those who seek the truth. It is given in the first sutta of the Buddha, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. The Buddha revealed his method to discover truth, which is Yatha Bhutang Jnana Dasana. Seeing realities as they really are with wisdom. Yatha Bhutang as they really are. Yatha Bhutang. Jnana, wisdom. Dasana, seeing. Okay. So no fancy, no imagination, but just as they really are, and using wisdom to see. If you frequently reflect upon the importance of this, then it helps you even in the not ultimate level, even in our daily life, e- even in the conceptual world, it helps a lot. Whether you are in family, dealing with family matters, or dealing with business, or dealing with human relationship, it is always important to see things as they really are. So often we cannot sort out our problems because we have different perception and understanding of things. So if you are able to regard things as they really are, put facts on the table as they really are, don't feel hurt, be brave, be non-self, be brave, and take things as they really are. Don't try to fool ourselves caused by due to emotional, we call tainted by emotions. Then you cannot see things as they really are. Then it destroys our efficiency in solving our life problems or in achieving our life goals. So always remind ourselves, let me, whatever it is, whatever come to me, and whatever decision I need to make, especially the major ones, make sure that I see things as they really are. Have I enable myself to access sufficient facts and data, information or relevant factors before I come to a decision? So that helps. That helps. Okay. So if we always invoke this power of reflection, these skills of Paccavekkhana reflection on natural laws and on truth, we will be able to invoke the power of Dhamma again and again in our daily life and in our spiritual life as well. So you can develop your own reflection, but make sure you check it. Make sure that reflection is coherent with the natural law, with the Buddha's teaching. Okay. Okay. We finish here. Any questions? So this question is simple, scientific question. Why do we need to breathe? This is just about the makeup of a human body and human physical physical body, biology. This is a biology question. Nothing to do with Dhamma. For human, yes, human. The work of biology is like that. But if it's for Brahma doesn't need to breathe. No breathing for Brahma. Okay. If you don't want to breathe, go and be born as a Brahma. Please come and meditate, attain jhana, and I teach you how to be a Brahma. Then you don't need to breathe. So this question is saying how to apply the Paccavekkhana on non-self, on atta, reflection on non-self in daily life. So we are just quoting the example of the reflection as a teaching in the Anattalakkana Sutta, discourse on the non-self characteristics. So when sometimes as a meditator, as a truth seeker, you find that you cannot uphold certain Dhamma qualities. You, for example, you get angry or whatever, jealous against your conscious wish. So you find so shameful. Some people, they feel they cannot accept themselves. But if you have the reflection on non-self as guided in the Anattalakkana Sutta, the non-self discourse, then you can look at that as a, well, yes, isn't that this nature of non-self is manifesting itself? You see, I want myself to have noble qualities, but now the ignoble qualities appears. Yeah, I want myself to behave like this, but my mind doesn't work as I wish. My feeling also end up like that. So you, instead of getting shameful or, self-blaming, you just regard these phenomena as a non-self manifestation. And then, and then you focus on this manifestation, the realities, instead on I cannot perform as I wish. Then you feel hurt, you see. But if you see that as a natural phenomena, didn't the Buddha thought about it? You cannot control it that way. So because of that, that understanding, you may be able to be free from the remorse or self-blame. But by the way, I want to say a little bit more on this. When we say non-self, if we are helpless, then why do we make effort? We make effort because it is not only non-self. Nature works in dependent originated manner. So dependent originated means there are so many factors come together and produce certain result. So when we aspire for a good result, a noble aim, so there's effort to be made. But at the same time, we cannot attach to the result and force it. We don't force. We just work quietly, work on the causes, so that when the causes mature and ripen and complete, it produces result. So in this dependent origination understanding, we don't give up hope. We work, but at the same time, we don't attach thinking that we are the master of everything. No. So we can work in a way, in a detached and what do we call that? Positive manner, you see? So because of dependent origination, knowing that not all conditions are mastered by me, so because of that, I cannot force the way and command. But at the same time, we know that we can contribute certain new causes to facilitate the ripening of the good karma. So because of that, we also work hard. You see or not? So please, so that don't reflect non-self in the wrong way and then end up as a lazy, not making effort. Okay. So this question is saying that what Pandit Maṅgala did before he managed to experience some the samatha vipassana knowledges. So actually, I recall those days in the early stage of my monkhood before I managed to practice samatha vipassana well. I also, when bad things happen, unpleasant experience happened to me in a monastery. At the beginning, I also tried to run. I said, well, this monastery, if this is a place where my bad karma ripened, I better go to the cave. When I stay in the cave, unpleasant thing happened to me as well. Then I ran to Himalaya, Darjeeling. Same thing happened also, in terms of human relationship and things like that. Then instead of getting offended by other people, I reflect on my own karma. I say, you see, how smart you are to try to run here, run there. No use. Wherever you run, your karma will ripen. So instead of running further, I just say, well, just accept it. Don't blame people. Don't get upset. Instead, I thought of them as victims of my bad karma. Because of their lack of mindfulness, they respond to my bad karma. So because of my bad karma ripen, wherever I go, some people will respond to my bad karma and didn't treat me well. So I didn't get offended. I reflect on my karma and then they're saying that forgive them because in fact they are the victims of my bad karma. In fact, I'm the bad guy because of the past deed I did. I end up bringing shit to people. So because of that, my bad karma get exhausted and without creating new bad karma, then slowly get lighter and lighter in terms of the bad karma load. Okay. So you see, the question is saying that how to cultivate the mind that cannot be hurt easily. Well, if you cultivate either through experiential knowledge or through reflective thinking wisdom, if you cultivate the understanding of the dependent origination, non-self, and the Brahma Vihara, Metta Karuna Mudita Upekkha cultivation, and also the seeing things as they really are with wisdom. And if you cultivate these three big category of Dhamma, naturally you don't get hurt easily. Okay? Then we share Marisa. Okay. Idang me punyang asawakaya wahang ho tu. May this marriage enable me overcome my defilements and taints. Idang me punyang nibbana sa pacaya ho tu. May this marriage be a supporting condition for my realization of nibbana, the peaceful happiness. Mama punya bagang sabba satanang bajemi te sabe me samang punya bagang labantu. I share my merits with all beings. May all beings get an equal share of my merits. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.